For a little over half of a glorious episode, Goemon got to be the glue that held this show together. Episode 9 largely focuses on the conflict that the last episode set up, and him and Arc continue to be the best part of it. Meanwhile, Chiyome and Ariane go and free a bunch of prisoners, gathering them in one place. However, there are still some left in a mansion nearby. Arc, in the aftermath of the calamity he and Goemon caused, gets worried about his safety, only to be relieved when Goemon comes out alright. Goemon decides to stay behind and protect the people who are already gathered while the rest free the remaining prisoners. Arc, at first, is reluctant to leave Goemon behind, but Goemon tells Arc to save Goemon's people before giving him a bromantic thumbs up, which Arc reciprocates. Once everyone is saved and gathered together, Arc teleports them out of harm's way, one group at a time. All the while, Goemon is taking on an army all on his own. Once everyone is out alright, Arc starts heading back. He has a friend to save. He teleports to the side of a battle-damaged Goemon, and the two of them unleash the combo attack they did by accident at the end of the last episode. In the aftermath, the two of them bro it out some more, but eventually Goemon and Chiyome have to go their own separate way from Ariane and Arc. And now's a good time to really think about what we just lost. Goemon is the reason this fight worked. Well, that's not entirely fair. This fight had some of the best animation in the show so far, low bar I know, but in general it was nice to look at. It had a nice pace to everything and was overall a good time. However, Arc and Goemon's bromance gave the whole sequence an emotional backbone. We start with some major bonding between them, but then came the time for them to separate. This got a genuine reaction out of Arc, who doesn't want to abandon his new friend, but Goemon tells Arc to save his people for him. That is a powerful symbolic gesture, telling a new ally that you trust your mission in their hands. With this moment, their fire-forged friendship went from a fun development to something with dramatic and personal weight within the story, giving what Arc does from here on a much-needed sense of emotional significance. Not only this, but through this action, Goemon approves of Arc as a heroic figure. This whole story, Arc has been falling short of coming off as genuinely heroic, but through this action, Arc was able to step into that role properly for the first time. His bro entrusted him with this mission. He's gonna see it through. This is also a raising of the stakes. Arc had to put something on the line to do this. Goemon is being put in danger, and there is a moment where you see Goemon damaged, indicating that the danger is tangible. However, Arc comes in to bring us back to where we were at the start. We return to these two absolute homies kicking ass together, and this time having shown growth due to using the combo attack on purpose, which acts as a satisfying resolution to the tension built earlier. This all has a very wholesome and fitting come down after the fact, with the bond they formed being reinforced through their interactions. The point I'm getting at is that this is basically competent dramatic storytelling. Not much really changed about the relationship. They hit it off instantly, and any deeper significance to the relationship that grew over the course of the episode is at best open to interpretation. But regardless, there was a sense of escalation and climax with genuine emotional weight, which is weird for this show. Thanks to Goemon, this show reached the dizzying heights of being kind of middling, half the time at least, because a lot of the time was wasted on Chiyome. Chiyome is the opposite of Goemon in many ways. While Goemon forms an interesting dynamic with an existing character, Chiyome's arc is self-contained, with Ariane and sometimes Arc simply there to spectate and offer emotional support. And while Goemon comes off as one-dimensional but provided us with one of the only well-handled dramatic conflicts in the story, Chiyome has all the aesthetic trappings of someone who's growing and learning while not taking part in any meaningful drama or emotional conflict. The crux of Chiyome's arc in this episode is this. She realizes that if she were stronger, she could have saved more people, so she wants to become stronger. This gets reinforced by her reacting negatively to some corpses of prisoners who died before she could save them, and gets reinforced further by her occasionally making an emotional expression or saying she needs to get stronger. That's less a character arc and more of a glorified character trait, and it takes up a ton of time. There's nothing dynamic to it, no conflict to solve. She doesn't even grow stronger over the course of the episode, nor does she learn a lesson. She just sort of decides that this is important to her. I'm pointing this out because while I've been focusing more on Goemon than Chiyome, Chiyome was sold as the more important character. It really puts the author's priorities into perspective. Constantly putting the aesthetics of depth over the basic storytelling conventions needed to make that depth impactful is the cornerstone of mediocrity. There's some political stuff that happens too. The obviously evil prince is killed by his servant who's working for the other prince. The obviously evil brother was in charge of the wolves from episode 7 and wanted to kill Yuriarna with them, but the other brother was in charge of the soldiers who actually managed to kill her before she got revived. He spreads the story that his now dead brother is the one who killed her. Yuriarna learns about this story upon arriving in the duchy and decides to lay low so that she won't, by making a sudden move, drive her brother into doing something desperate. The dead brother was working for the emperor of this other nation who supplied the mind control rings, and an underling of his is doing other stuff with them. This empire is where Ark and Ariane are heading next in order to save more elves. There is some interesting stuff here. The brother killing the other brother was a good twist, and Yuriarna deducing stuff and coming up with a plan was something that a character from a good story might do. Overall, though, the one character making Ark tolerable is now out of the picture. As we head into the final arc of the season, I wonder what exactly awaits us. Will Yuriarna save the show? Will it go back to being flaming hot garbage? Only time will tell. If you want to see me continue this series, then like and subscribe with notifications on, and if you want to support me, you can visit my Patreon, the link is in the description.